This should be funny. Get over and follow Nerdrotic. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. Just came from this Turkish restaurant. Their bread is banging. Hey, let's take some home.
Well, I don't care what you call it, all right? Because I'm like a rock, son.
Oh, you like a rock, huh?
Yeah, I'm a rock. I don't move.
Okay, let me understand this correctly. You are like a rock, and a rock don't move, huh?
Rock move? Come and punch you back.
Okay, so you want to do this now?
Yeah, I want to do this back.
Right here.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's go.
What are you doing, man?
What you mean, man?
You just grabbed my ass.
I was about to kick your ass, man.
What do you kick it? Don't grab it.
Okay. Man.
Come on, man. Let's
go.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, you over 1 million hellions and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. Yes, we're back to talking about Daredevil Born Again, but this will be a very different video from my last one because, quite frankly, Marvel is screwed. If you recall, in my last review for Daredevil Born Again, I was cautiously optimistic. I was going to see how Disney Marvel could move Daredevil. And
I was happy for the most part in the first two, I think. I'll give you my score at the end. It's going to be a range I'm going to give you because I haven't really had a chance to think about it. But
Kingpin past their multiple cuckings. Daredevil with his walk of shame and She-Hulk, and Kingpin being defeated by a teenage girl and a Native American Voltron who reconnected him with his feelings.
Voltron.
I cannot unsee this.
Could Disney Marvel seize the opportunity given to them by the worst time strikes in history by scrapping what they already filmed with the sitcom She-Hulk version of Daredevil and reconnecting it to the far superior Netflix Daredevil? Outside of maybe Iron Man, it is simply the most comic accurate and the best comic book adaptation Disney Marvel has ever done in live action. Incidentally, Kevin Feige had nothing to do with it. But could Kevin Feige and company actually grab the baton and produce something good on D+ by expanding on the mythos and characters from the far superior original from Netflix? And after watching the final episode of Daredevil Born Again Season 1, the answer is a definitive no. Ironically enough, the final episode...
No!
is called Straight to Hell, and that's exactly where this series went. Now, full disclosure, Daredevil is one of my favorite comic book characters. I own a complete run and almost every single appearance up to, I think, 2021. But never let it be said that I can't be a sweet summer child, and never let it be said that I can't take the L because I was dumb enough to be cautiously optimistic about a Disney Marvel product. I was under the false impression that Disney Marvel might actually take some care with this series and that it was going somewhere where it clearly wasn't. A slow burn still needs to burn, but this one just fizzled, and it did it pretty quickly. And in trying to fix and integrate what they had scrapped from the previous series, it just turned into repurposed slop. Concerning the previous character vandalizations of Daredevil and Kingpin on D+, Marvel had a couple of options. They could have never addressed it, which I would have recommended, or make it work somehow, but their genius idea was to actually expand on it.
Did she shoot you in the face?
Yeah. But it doesn't stop there because you can add to the list Vanessa Fisk, Karen Page, The Punisher, and Bullseye. And the new characters they introduced can be put solidly in 3 categories.
Some people were wondering if Daredevil did that on purpose so he would get out. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. I've seen a few people that are like, nah, I don't think he would have did that on purpose. Maybe he did, but I doubt it. Just to all turn around and get shot himself, you know what I mean?
Irrelevant, annoying, or insufferable, which coincidentally would also be the best description of the plot. Or strike that, because it really wasn't a plot, it was a patchwork series of events that plays out in the most predictable, implausible, and boring...
They got rid of White Tiger way too fast. Like, that was, to me, it was stupid that they killed him off that fast.
Way possible. In Daredevil Born Again, because they used the Born Again storyline from the comics in season 3 of the Netflix show, Matt, Foggy, and Karen are reunited as it was heavily promoted in the trailers for about 15 minutes. Foggy is killed, and Karen f***s off until the final episode of the series, leaving Matt to quit, wallow in self-pity, get chewed out by his business partner, get chewed out by a teenage girl, get chewed out by one of his clients, and cry. He also defends White Tiger in a courtroom scene, which eventually gets him killed. He also thwarts a bank robbery with the help.
But what kind of superhero are you? Like, they made White Tiger look so weak right there. Yeah, there was that one fight scene, but God, they made him look so weak. Like, just so expendable and throwaway of a character. Like, God.
Of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel's dad, who might have mentioned it a couple of times.
Excuse me,
He's funny.
apologies. My daughter, Kamala. She's in California visiting some friends there. Miss Marvel. This is her. Right here. A custom designed Funko in her honor. You can't just crack it open like it's a piggy bank I gave Kamala to instill in her the value of saving. And my daughter.
Ah, the famous Kamala.
Yes, Kamala.
Who? And he finally dons his costume at the end of the 6th episode, because who in the hell wants to tune into it?
That's funny because he calls his daughter Kamala, and then Kamala Harris calls herself Kamala. Yeah, people chanting her name, Kamala, Kamala. But they also would say to other people, why are you mispronouncing her name? Now, I have to look at the spellings of both of these characters' names, but it sounds like you pronounce them either way. And I can't think of Kamala at all without thinking of the WWF. Yeah, WWF Kamala. Let me see. Kamala Harris, Kamala. Ms. Marvel, real name. No, why is it? No. Isn't it, that says Carol Danvers. That's Captain Marvel, right? Wait, hold on. Kamala Khan. Yeah. Same spelling. So, Kamala Khan. Yep, same exact spelling. So apparently you can pronounce it both ways. There we go, folks. Argument ended.
Show where the superhero is doing superhero stuff, and he does this to finally face the villain they have been building up to all season, Muse, the serial killer supervillain who uses the blood of his victims to paint murals. In the comics, he's an Inhuman with super strength and super speed, and he's imperceptible to Daredevil. In Daredevil Born Again, he's an incel who's really good at Taekwondo. And that's probably why Heather Glenn was able to kill him with relative ease. And this is where the series lost me, and quite frankly, I don't know why it took me so long. Because
you know, it pisses me off, like, when I hear people talk more and more about certain characters that I didn't really know in the comics. Like, I read them, but I haven't read every comic in the world. So, there's a lot of stuff I don't know. But, like, when I found out that the Black Widows were actually super soldiers, I was like, oh, come on. Like, they say nothing about them taking the super soldier serum in the movies. Do they? If they do, someone let me know. But I'm like, oh, man, they could have really had her doing some really crazy stuff if they had just let us know she's a super soldier. You get what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
Because Muse turned out to be a red herring, a shaggy dog story, completely pointless, like this show. But getting rid of Muse allowed us more time to have Heather Glenn, Matt's new annoying girlfriend, to be annoying by chewing him out and reminding him that she saved herself.
Muse tried to kill you, Daredevil saved you.
I saved me. They were both out there for themselves.
Oh, shut up! Silly woman!
Oh, and let's not forget all the times Matt quit. Aside from quitting being Daredevil, black pills on being a lawyer. I think I could comfortably speak for the entirety of planet Earth.
What was Trump reading in the first place? Someone, I need context for that whole clip. Please help me. That was funny.
I think we are all ready for the MCU to end, but apparently Marvel isn't. Keeping in mind that it was Disney's Daredevil Born Again co-creator.
Yeah, someone said to me the other day in a comment, they were like, the real MCU ended with Endgame. I was like, you know what? I don't know about that. think it actually ended with Infinity War, if you really think about it, because they were speaking about all the wokeness, but they put some woke stuff in game in Captain Marvel. So let's see, what year did Infinity War come out? 2018. Yep, it ended with Infinity War. Yep, that's where it ended, because they started putting it in with Captain Marvel, and they had their girl boss moment in game. As much as I love in game, yeah, I really only watch the battle. Whenever I start that movie, literally, it starts from good, as long as we're all in agreement. Let's kill him properly this time. Always starts from there. So, yeah.
Dario Scartapeni, who said that the MCU series has less navel-gazing than the Netflix show. I would argue the best way to sum up Disney's Daredevil Born Again was it's about a navel-gazing blind man, but not to be outdone in
What the hell is a navel gazer? Navel gazing. It's a phrase with...
Navel gazing is a phrase with two main meanings. One referring to a historical practice of meditation or introspection.
Okay. And the other more common meaning referring to excessive self-absorption and self-indulgence in contemplation. Never heard that before. It's the most I've used Google, I think, in one video with you guys.
the character assassination department. We have Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, who is now mayor of New York City, just like he was in the comics, except it isn't just like it was in the comics, because instead of seizing on the opportunity of helping out New York when Hydra trapped Manhattan in a dark dimension, Daredevil Born Again just makes Kingpin a Trump allegory, and he becomes mayor pretty easily by saying he's going to make New York great again, when in truth he just seized the power from Vanessa, who is now the Queenpin, and doing his job better.
When you were gone, I made this business bulletproof.
I was under the false assumption.
I noticed that, and when I was watching it, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna... She's doing it better than him. Okay. But I let it go, because I was just like, okay, I'm enjoying this. Don't, you know what I mean? But I didn't have to say anything because people were talking about it. As soon as I did the review, it was all in the comments.
Assumption that they would somehow explain this, and they didn't. That's simply what it was. To be fair, we finally get an explanation as to why the Kingpin is free in this show. In the very beginning of the final episode of Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Vanessa mentions in passing while she's talking to Bullseye that Wilson Fisk was acquitted due to the federal corruption scandal involving Agent Ray Nadeem from Season 3. And again, they could have just not mentioned or not acknowledged the events of Echo and Hawkeye, but they decided to do that in the first episode, which leads to a lot of questions like, how in the hell does a guy become mayor when he's hot off of rounding up a posse and trying to kill some Indians in Oklahoma in Echo? And how the did he get his eye back that was shot out by Echo? Don't know. Oh, and I know there's so many more questions than that I'm not going to bother to get into because the show didn't. Let's just say after 9 episodes, the Kingpin is in no better shape than he was at the end of Hawkeye or Echo. And what they did to Vanessa Fisk is a crime against imagination, one of the best characters from the Netflix show. The ride or die wife has just been reduced to a Disney Marvel girl boss. The only reason the Kingpin's empire is still around is because she made it more streamlined and profitable. The other crime families might have feared Wilson, but they respected Vanessa.
Yeah.
It was Vanessa, not Kingpin, who was the driving force in establishing the big mystery of the show. Red Hook, an area of the port that, due to an 1855 charter, is not subject to state or federal law. Basically, it can be its own city-state. She was the one who is clearly in the position of power to the subservient Bullseye.
Here's the thing. If you want to know how woke something is, make sure you go look at the chart. Elon Musk had really put it out and made it go viral. Look at the chart, the DEI ESG chart that companies follow in movies and TV shows and stuff. The boxes they have to check. Go look them up. It's like a colored chart. Go look them up. Read through it all, and you'll see it. You'll see it in all the new shows. It's hilarious.
Here,
And all the
set
new
him
movies.
up to kill
And all the
Foggy
video
and
games.
his client, who are going to expose this information. And I'm sure it won't be forgotten that the Cup Kingpin is going to swoop in and take credit for a woman's work. Speaking of Bullseye, they've taken Daredevil.
I saw him dance. That threw me off. I was like, the Kingpin is not supposed to be dancing. If anything, he's just doing a little two-step while talking to Vanessa. Daredevil vexes me. I'm going to put an end to this vigilante. You know what I mean? That's it. He doesn't.
Daredevil's arch nemesis and one of the best villains in comic books, and turned him into a cowardly snitch who's afraid to be released in the general populace in a prison. And they managed to do that in the only real full episode he appears in.
He shouldn't be
Speaking
afraid
of bulls-
because he gets his hand on anything. A damn peanut, okay? A Rice Krispie. No matter what it is, he's deadly. He shouldn't be afraid of that.
You know who else was heavily publicized in the trailer and the promotional material, but not in
Oh,
the show very
yeah.
much? The Punisher, who in episode 4 had one of the best scenes of anything on Disney Plus, and definitely the best of this series.
Say his name, you coward! Say his name! It's not about him! You hate yourself. He's eating you up because you ain't done a goddamn thing about it.
God damn it, God damn it.
Unfortunately, whatever audience was actually watching.
I know a guy that knows him. And it's funny because he talks like the Punisher character. So the guy that knows him acts like the Punisher. But the guy that plays the Punisher doesn't talk like that all the time. But he talks like the Punisher. He's a badass still. He knows his stuff with guns and everything.
This got whiplash because
I'm not joking. He talks like the Punisher.
absolute worst scenes in the history of Marvel on Disney Plus and in this.
I have a run into him. I do a video with him.
You want butter toffee or caramel with peanuts?
Butter toffee.
Toffee for the man.
No, you can't eat that.
Hey, Wilcox, are these boxes evidence? Nah, the mother boxes was evidence. I paid for this shit.
Complaint against you alleges you stole approximately 5 boxes of fiddle faddle from a bodega.
Well, I did do it.
Laugh
The
track.
bodega where this allegedly occurred has a surveillance system. Security guard will testify that when he detained you, you were in possession of multiple boxes of fiddle faddle caramel corn.
Now back to the Punisher. John Bernthal is always great as this character, but that scene from episode 4 was Daredevil season 2 Punisher, and the rest of his scenes in the final episode, which is just a handful, are Punisher season 2 Punisher. And as with a lot of things in this show, what should have been a very satisfying scene when the Punisher finally gets around to killing somebody, at best it will wake you up from your nap, at worst it's anticlimactic. And the same goes for Vanessa when she kills her boyfriend in front of the Kingpin. This is supposed to be an impactful scene because she chose to do it, but by the time she did, I was just kind of okay. And in the final episode, when the Kingpin finally gets
it
around
was
to
coming.
being
This
the
is sick.
Kingpin and crushes the police commissioner's head, it just felt like what it was, a poor imitation of the Netflix series. Oh, and Deus Karen Page arrives at a...
Yeah, I was like, they had to do something that was going to be as good. No, that's not the right word. As horrifying as when he crushed that dude's head in the car door. So he ripped the jaw off. He ripped his jaw off and tore his scalp. Is that what he did? Like, it was weird looking.
Nowhere to patch up Daredevil and give a mommy talk to both of them. She and Foggy were totally wasted in this series, and yes, someone was paid a lot of money to make the decision to replace them with these characters, like Cherry, whose only purpose was to randomly come out of nowhere and tell Matt he doesn't like what he's doing. Or plucky diverse female Gen Z character number 1, or plucky diverse Gen Z female character number 2. One is Bibi Urich, Ben Urich's niece, and the other one is the White Tiger's niece, because God forbid we have nephews in the MCU or Marvel Comics, much less sons for the well.
Yeah, let's see if Franklin Richards really appears in the Fantastic Four movie. Let's see. Let's see if what she has, a girl or a boy.
Well, Ashley's out there. I'm fully aware that Angela Toro is the female White Tiger from the comics from almost 20 years ago in the Bendis run. But I would also add that the last thing the Marvel Cinematic Universe needs is another Z-list female character when you could have spent more time with the Hector Ayala White Tiger. Then there's Kirsten McDuffie, who only exists.
Yes, we know he died, but he could have been recast. You know what I mean? Don't say he couldn't have been recast. He could have been recast. They recast Thunderbolt Ross. Okay, they should have recast T'Challa. So, you know, whatever.
This to chastise Matt Murdock and Grimace. And last but not least, a character that...
Oh, and what's with all the people saying that, the female Silver Surfer, well, they were just going to kill her, so, you know, because that universe is going to be done with because of an incursion or whatever. So why waste him? Why waste him? You already killed a Mr. Fantastic. Did you forget Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness? They killed the Mr. Fantastic everyone wanted. And then they brought in the Mr. Fantastic nobody else wanted. They wasted a Mr. Fantastic already and brought in a new one. They could have had 2 Norrin Reds if they wanted to. Could have killed one off with that universe and brought in another one. People act like it's, makes total sense. Get the hell out of here. They just killed a Mr. Fantastic and are giving us a new one. Of course it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense if you want to check your DEI ESG boxes. That's what it makes sense for.
It's totally different from Kirsten McDuffie, Heather Glenn, who only exists to chastise Matt Murdock and be a bitch. I wish the stupidity ended there, but it doesn't. In this Daredevil Born Again Season 1 finale, they decide to one-up Chris Nolan's worst Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. The Kingpin and a handful of bad cops with Punisher logos on their chests managed to lock down the entire city, turn off the power, cause a bunch of riots, all because somebody tried to assassinate a mayor. And somehow, unilaterally, the Kingpin, the mayor of New York, declares martial law on the city while he takes that opportunity to establish his own city-state at Red Hook. The Punisher gets captured by the task force, but later escapes, and
Daredevil... You know, it would be the perfect Kingpin if he could act. I don't know if he can act or not. Butterbean. There we go. All day long. Butterbean. Period. Y'all know I'm right.
Daredevil, the man without fear, after a pep talk from Deus Ex Karen Page, decides he needs help and he needs to build an army. And this is his army.
Or maybe Eddie Hall if he could act. Just shave him bald everywhere. Eddie Hall. There we go. There's a lot of guys that could... A lot of big strong men. The Mountain probably could. As long as they can act. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking about looks right now. You know what I mean?
The Insufferables. And ultimately, Daredevil Born Again Season 1 became everything I was worried about, and quite frankly, everything a lot of people called before they aired the first
tell you, even the bad stuff wasn't as bad as what I was worried that it could be. You get what I'm saying?
Of the first episode. As much as I want to retire this phase, it went full-on MCU because there is a suspicious amount of annoying women in this lecturing Matt Murdock. And listen, I didn't write it. I don't make the rules. I just make the observations. They really leaned into the Punisher skull controversy, particularly from the Summer of Love, so they can go full ACAB and have Punisher lecture the bad cops and call them clowns. And they made the Kingpin the cuckpin while also making him an incompetent Trump allegory who stole a woman's work. Keep in mind, it was just under a year ago where Disney Marvel actually sparked a little bit of hope in the fandom, and it looked like that they were going to change. They brought back RDJ as Doctor Doom. You may or may not like that decision, but it excited fans. The Fantastic Four teaser came out, and it kind of excited fans. And the Russo brothers were coming back to direct Avengers movies. That seemed like a good move, and the biggest sign of change was Marvel scrapping multiple episodes that they already shot of Daredevil to reconnect it and honor the Netflix series. And disappointingly, Daredevil Born Again is not a change, it's actually the same. The same variation of the same three themes that we've seen since the end of Phase 3. Intersectional feminism, identity politics, and TDS. And now would be a good time for Kevin Feige to worry, because the follow-up to the fan-favorite Netflix Daredevil series was met with thunderous apathy. It never charted on Sama TV. It has yet to chart on the industry standard Nielsen, and I doubt it will. It was watched by fewer people than Agatha All Along, Miss Marvel, and The Acolyte, which of course was canceled. And the excitement of the Avengers films announcements and
hearing it might come back though.
Success of the very gimmicky but popular Deadpool and Wolverine has been completely squandered. Captain African American was a flop. Daredevil Born Again was a flop. And they had that stupid 5-hour chair stream where they announced the mostly disappointing and the rest were just really old cast for Avengers Doomsday. Don't you dare break Sir Ian McKellen. Unsurprisingly, the Thunderbolts is projected to underperform at the box office, and that will be followed by the amazingly popular Ironheart on D+. And at time of recording, the Fantastic Four trailer dropped at...
I cannot tell you how many that I cannot give for Ironheart.
And this is the first look at the female Silver Surfer.
What?
And it's become abundantly clear...
What? Guess what? I already said this.
That Disney Marvel is incapable of change, and as I dropped, and this is the first look...
I bet you that they did not make her very detailed because she's a woman and they don't want her over-sexualized. I guarantee you that's why she looks like a naked mannequin rather than really highly detailed like Norrin Radd was in the other Fantastic Four movie. I'm willing to bet almost anything on that. That's the reason why.
Look at the female Silver Surfer.
What?
And it's become abundantly clear that Disney Marvel is incapable of change, and as I and many others have been saying for quite a while now, it's time for Kevin Feige to go. And no, there isn't a good replacement. Just finish up your Secret Wars and then let the Marvel Cinematic Universe sit for a few years, because a dormant fandom is better than a dead one.
nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
If you like what you heard, please like.
You got a new ending there, sir. Oh, man. Oh, well, let us know what you think. I give Daredevil, I'll give it somewhere between a 2.5 and a 3. Overall, it's probably a 2.5, which is like, somewhere in the middle. Meh. It's okay. It was all right. It's 2.75, which is what I gave Sinners 2.75. So it's better than meh. I can't really say, oh, it's great. You get what I'm saying? You know, a lot of people agree with me on that with Sinners. You know, so everybody's, you know, falling all over this movie right now. And, you know, it was a good movie, but I just don't think it was as great as a lot of people think it is. And that's fine. I'm allowed to have my own opinion and not go with everybody else. I get that comment from people. Well, you're the only person. It doesn't matter if I'm the only person. What are you, a sheeple? Everybody else thinks this, so you do it. You know? But anyway, yeah, that's how I feel about this. I believe that if you're a Daredevil fan, it's a good watch, but it's not perfect, and it's definitely got its problems. But I can't call it great. You know what I mean? I can't call it a really above average entertainment, which is usually what my 3 means, but slightly below that. But it's not meh either. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 10 million subscribers. Woo! Dun, 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 dun.